Hey Sagittarius, I am your astrologer, Wonder Girl, taking you to new heights. Here is your weekly forecast for the week of Monday, December 18th to Monday, December 25th, 2017. Now, what's going on this week, Sagittarius, is we actually had a major new moon, which happened, oh, got a call here. We actually had a major new moon, which happened on Sunday. So the day before this horoscope starts, really, and it happened in your sign, okay, in your first house right here. So what that is bringing is a big new beginning for you and your identity and who you are and everything about you in some way, okay? Big new chapters coming in. Because this is a new moon that was very close to Saturn here at the last degree of Sagittarius when it happened, where Saturn has been for the past 2.5 years, I don't think that this is just some kind of like, you know, new beginning, new thing going on in your life. I think this is like huge. This is like a big thing that you've been working on for the past 2.5 years that may have been really hard, required a lot of effort, that finally now you're like just starting to move forward on and it's just starting to come together in some way that you're beginning to commit to that has a lot to do with your identity and who you are. Okay, as you're trying to commit to this new thing that you've been working on that has to do with your identity and who you are, I think you're also rethinking some things about who you are as well. So it's not just like, okay, I'm going to do this new thing and I've been working on it for so long and I'm going to move forward on it. It's like, okay, if I'm going to move forward on this new identity that you've been working on, how can I make sure that I'm doing it in the best way, that everything is right, that I'm not going to change my mind a little bit later with what's happening, okay, that's coming in here. And the reason why I say that is because as we have this new moon happening in your sign, we also have Mercury here going retrograde this week as well in your first house, asking you to rethink your identity before you officially like hit the ground running on it. All right, and with Mercury here, as it's retrograding and making a trine over here to the North Node, which is in your 9th house of something new, coming in here, I think a lot of what you're thinking about here is not just who you are and how you can do your identity better or be the best person you can be or be the person that you want to be. I think you're also thinking a lot about what new thing it is that you're doing and how you can do this new thing different and better than you were doing it before. It's also about, with the 9th house here, making sense of your life and figuring out your beliefs. I think you're also trying to adjust your beliefs so that they can help you as well do something that's important to you and move forward on that. All right, being a major thing coming in. I think as you're doing some of this rethinking about your identity, about some new thing that you're doing, and working out some of your beliefs, relationships too are also going to play an important part with Venus right here stuffed in between the Sun and Mercury. Relationships and money are also going to be huge about you and about who you are. Maybe that's what a lot of what you're thinking about and communicating about still, is how can relationships and money work together to get you to do what it is that you need and to work for your good and to help support you on something that you're committing to. Right? I think some of these things with relationships and money, even though you're trying to work some of the details out, could be a little bit difficult. That's because we do have Venus this week, as it's here in between these two planets, in a square with Chiron and Pisces, which rules your 4th house of home and family. Okay, so I think you're trying to do something, commit to something that it is that you want, that's important to you. You're trying to figure out how to commit to this new thing better than you've done it in the past, but still running into some uncomfortable feelings when it comes to home, when it comes to family, when it comes to something very core to your being, maybe feeling like your home and family doesn't support you, maybe feeling this new commitment that you're making is very uncomfortable for you in some way or is very hard for you to build on, and really having to overcome that one more time, again and again, so that you can move forward. And I think if you focus here on how you can do this new thing and make this new commitment that you need to make, even if it is uncomfortable for you, even though you need to try to figure out how to be comfortable with it, I think it's going to help you here where Uranus is in your 5th house here, with Venus making a trine to Uranus, to be happier, to do more of what it is that you enjoy, to find more of the love again in your life, maybe It's going to be easier for you to have romantic relationships with the 5th house, to have passion projects, work on some projects that are important to you. If you have kids, it's going to be a lot easier for you to work with kids too, but really needing to make that commitment to yourself. And I think if you can make that commitment to yourself and to doing something new, even if it is uncomfortable in some way, it's really going to open up some doors for you here to more authentically express yourself, do what you want and need to be happy, and bring more of that love into your life that perhaps has not been there recently. But it's just a matter of tying up some loose ends here, making sure yourself is in order before some of those other things might start to come into play a little bit more. Okay. So that's what's happening there. As that's going on, we also do have Jupiter hanging out in your 12th house of like the past. I usually write insides, and of your spirituality, coming in with a square to the nodes. And whenever a planet squares the nodes, it makes it really important. So what I think is going on here is, as you're trying to make some big commitment with yourself to do something new that can help you be happier, even if it is a little destabilizing, you also needing to pay attention to what it is that's going on inside you. What do you need spiritually? What do you need internally to feel more comfortable with life? Okay, also with the 12th house, you get the past, needing to overcome some things from the past, some old ways of doing things, some old ways of thinking about things as well going on here. And I think as you are stepping into some new chapters and some big new commitments, you're also really having to pay a lot of attention to what you need to feel more comfortable, okay, and how you can especially let go of the past. Let bygones be bygones and let them go. When Jupiter squares the nodes, I don't know if I just mentioned this, sometimes we ignore this planet. Okay, we don't want to pay attention to it, or we forget it. And I think what Jupiter is saying in your 12th house is you need to make sure that the commitment that you're doing resonates with you on the inside, and you need to make sure that the past is not stopping you from doing it, so that you can move forward into it and have some of these new chapters and new commitments manifest. All right, so that's what's going on there. And then at the end of the week, things change quite a bit, which I'm going to show you right now. All right, here you are, Sagittarius. This is your 1st house. As to where at the beginning of the week, we had a lot of planets right here in your 1st house, really focusing on you and on who you are and committing to something. By the end of the week, all of these planets like move out. They move out of your 1st house into your 2nd. Okay, that's going to be the Sun and Venus and Saturn in between Thursday and Monday, which are all going to conjunct in Capricorn in your 2nd house of money and of confidence and of your gifts and skills and talents. All right, especially with Mercury stationing here too. So while the beginning of the week is you really trying to make sure, are you making the right commitment to yourself? Are you doing the right thing? Is this new thing the way you want it to be? Is all the details in place? Is everything coming together? And are people on board with you too? The last part of the week is not so much about making readjustments, not so much about figuring out whether or not this commitment is right for you. It's more about doing it, living this commitment, making it happen, and really beginning to build on it. And that for you is going to have a lot to do with your money and with your gifts and skills and talents and with your confidence. Now that you've made a major commitment to yourself and to something that you want, now you need to figure out, how can you make money from it? How can you attract more income to you? How can you use more of your gifts and skills and talents in a really good and positive way so that you can move up in the world and have the reputation and the social standing that it is that you want? You also need to figure out as well, how can you be more confident with this new identity and how you can bring more stability into your life now that you've committed to something that is important to you. And I think it's going to be important at the beginning of the week to work out all the details and the kinks and your plan about some commitment that you're making, so that at the end of the week you can really start to fully step into it and start to do some of the things that you need to really begin to build on it in a really big way. But it's going to be harder for you to build on it towards the end of the week if you don't do everything that you can to tie up the loose ends at the beginning and overcome some things from the past so that you can move forward. All right, so that's what I see going on for you this week, Sagittarius. Now your card, oh, this is interesting, is the 4 of Pentacles upright. This is a card of stability. This is actually a card of holding on to things going on here. Normally when it's upright, holding on to things is good. What I think this card is about, because I know I talked a lot about letting go of things with the Jupiter here in your 12th, but maybe what this card is about, letting go learning what to let go of and learning what to hold on to. I think that might be the struggle of this week. Really having to figure out what is important to you. What do you value the most so that you can move forward? Okay, especially with all of this stuff coming into your second house of money, I think a big thing for you is finding financial stability, finding the value, being valued for what it is you want to be valued for, and figuring all that stuff out this week. So I think that's what's going on here. Needing to let go of things while at the same time needing to commit to something else that's new. And I think in order for you to figure out, what do I need to let go of? What do I need to move into? You need to focus first on what is important to you. What do you want to be known for? What do you want to be valued for? And how can you bring more of that money and more of that income and more of that stability and confidence back to you? And I think if you can focus on that, on what makes you unique and special, and how you can start to create a life that's really good for you, I think it's going to help you bring everything together here and make some of the decisions and the commitments that you need to make so you can feel much better, okay? And this is a really good thing for you, Sagittarius. I mean, Saturn's moving out of your first house where it's been for the past 2.5 years. So it should be a good thing if you just push through some of the last bit this week, make some of the changes. I think things are going to start to get much easier for you to build on moving forward, all right? So that's what I've got for you this week, Sagittarius. Thank you so much for watching my horoscope. If you like it, please like it on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, share with your friends, and I will talk to you later.